Phoenix, coming at you from Fitness Options Personal Training Studio in South Burlington, Vermont. I'm here today to talk about rolling. We're going to talk about how to systematically roll as opposed to just kind of laying on the roller and rolling back and forth. It's important when we're rolling that we because the purpose of rolling is finding trigger points or adhesions or knots or whatever you want to call them in your muscles that need to be broken up. Because what we want to do is we want those muscles, because those knots are preventing us from really using our muscles to their full capacity. Because basically, if you think about muscle fibers, they move as they over each other and contract. And then when they relax, they move this way. But if you have a knot in there, they really can't move to the full extent that they should be moving. So we take that foam roller and we roll it on there and we try to break up those adhesions. And foam rolling is a great way to do something to help kind of maintain your muscle length as opposed to a massage. So massages are really great as well, but this is like just a total downgrade from a massage. A massage would be way better, but it's a good way to kind of maintain in between your massages. So today I've picked 3 muscle groups that tend to be overactive in our lower body. We're gonna do calves, we're gonna do quads, and we're gonna do hip flexors. And I'm gonna show you how to roll your body systematically and methodically. So I'm gonna do one leg today so we can save time, but I do expect you to do both legs. So let's go ahead and get started with calves, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and sit down on your tush, and you're gonna put your leg on the foam roll. If that feels like it's already enough pressure, then go ahead and leave it like that. If you feel like you need a little bit more pressure, and by pressure I mean you should feel like maybe there's a trigger point in there or it's a little sore, then you go ahead and cross your other leg over on top. And then if that feels like that's enough pressure, we'll just go ahead and roll from there. So you would roll back and forth for 4. 4 is the key number with trigger point. So we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you wanted a little more pressure, you would lift yourself up and do that same cycle of 4. After you do that cycle of 4, though, I'd like you to go side to side like this for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And you're gonna do it 2 times. If you need to rest off your hands, feel free to sit down and then come back up and you roll back and forth for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then side to side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Usually when you go side to side, you feel a little bit more pressure on that outer calf. That one's a little bit harder than the up and down. So that's all for the calf. That was easy, right? So the quad is a little bit more complicated. So we're gonna go ahead and lay down on our elbows. You wanna put the foam roller or the trigger point therapy roller right above your kneecap, okay? Then you're gonna come down onto both hands. Elbows should be down on the floor. You want your shoulders squared, other knee is kind of out to the side, just giving you a little support. From there, I'm gonna roll halfway up my leg from the top of my kneecap to halfway up, and then I'm gonna go back down to the top of my kneecap. And I'm gonna do 4 of those. That's 2, we got 3 here, and then I'm gonna stop in the middle of my quad. And then from there, I'm gonna do what I call wagging my tail, and I'm gonna shake my leg back and forth for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bend and extend for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we do all these different things to span the muscle in different ways. Like if you roll up and down, you're just following the muscle fibers, which is good, but you wanna go side to side too, so that you're breaking up that adhesion in a different way. And then by bending and extending, it actually adds a little bit more pressure to that trigger point, so bending and extending is good too. But if you bend and extend, it hurts a lot, it might hurt a lot. You can do it once, do it twice, not do it at all, do a little bit. Like if you're like, that kills me, I'm not gonna do it, that's totally fine too. So from the middle of my quad to continue here, I'm gonna roll up to the top of my quad, and then I'm gonna roll back to the middle, and then back to the top and middle, and I think I got 2 more here, 3, and then that's 4 right there. So I'm stopping at the top of my quad, same thing, wagging my tail for 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna bend and extend for 4, 3, 2, good, and 1. From there, I'm gonna turn my toe in. I'm not gonna take my arm off the floor and go all the way onto the side of my leg because I don't wanna do my IT band here, I'm not ready for that, but I do wanna go down the outside of my quad muscle, so I'm just gonna internally rotate that toe just like that. I'm still in the upper part of my quad, and I'm gonna go from the upper part of my quad to halfway down for 4, same thing we just did, 3, oh yeah, the outer quad's always a little bit more sore than the middle, 2, last one right here, stopping, same thing as I did before, we're gonna wag the tail from side to side, good, and then bend and extend, oh yeah, 4, 3, now this is where it might hurt the most, so if you can't bend and extend, that's fine, do 1 if you can, like I said before, or just hold it on that trigger point for a few moments, and then move on. Then from the middle of the quad, just like we did before, we're gonna go down to the kneecap. So we went down, excuse me, from the bottom of the quad up to the top. Now we're just going from the top to the bottom and doing the same thing. So we're gonna roll for 4. Good. 3, 2, oh, it feels good. I need to roll my other leg after this. And 1, stop right here, wag the tail right above the kneecap now. So we're on the outside of the quad, but right above the kneecap. We're gonna bend and extend for 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, all done with the quad. It also is a good idea to not take your leg off the foam roller until you're completely done with the quad, meaning if you're gonna roll all the way up the middle and doing all those little things that I said, then you move to the outside and roll all the way down, and try not to get off the foam roller in between each of those, because what we're trying to do is, we're in a little nutshell, is stop the flow of blood to the muscle for a brief amount of time, so that way when you kick your leg off the foam roller, that's what the blood rushes in, it heals that adhesion that you just broke up, kind of flushes out whatever toxins were in there, and that's what you want to happen, to heal that adhesion. So now, we're gonna go into our hip flexors, which are up high here, okay? Similar to the calf in that it's super quick and a very small. It's about a 2-inch square, so you're gonna be right on that hip flexor. So I'm up high, higher than the quad, and into that hip flexor area where you bend your hips. So knees out here a little bit. We're gonna roll up and down, just like we did on the calf for 4, 3, 2, that 4 again, and 1. And we're gonna stop there. This time I'm gonna have you kind of roll into the side and back, just like this for 4. Good, that's 3, 2, and 1. Good, and we're gonna do that 2 times just like we did in the calf. Okay, so we're gonna go 4, 3, and you'll probably feel a little bit more trigger point kind of on the outside of the hip flexor. That's the TFL, and that tends to get a little tight. It's an external rotator, so it takes a little bit of, it's an overactive muscle. Good, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. That was quick and easy, right? So we did, now I would like you to go and do the other leg. Great job today. That's your little training on how to systematically and methodically do your trigger point rolling. Thank you so much, and find us at fitnessoptionsvt.com.